Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Zach, and this is the Why Would You Think That podcast. We're going to go over my Week 5 power rankings. So, just a little bit of a recap. Two teams that fall out of my power rankings consist of 20 teams and how I rank them. Records depend a lot on how I do these. How the team played last really is the main factor of how I determine my power rankings. So, just a quick recap. Chargers and Eagles both lose. They fall out of the power rankings. Eagles are at 20. Chargers were around 19 last week. Chargers blow another big lead. They are the Falcons of the AFC, if you will. So let's get through it. Number 20, the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants. They are now the leaders in the NFC East division, and they will take the 20 spot. Up next, 49ers get blown out by the Dolphins. They're now 0-3 at home. They make up 19. 18 is the Dolphins, who crushed 49ers. I do believe in having teams who beat a team this previous week being ahead of them. The Dolphins move into the top 20 as they were unranked last week, so were the Cowboys. All right, 17 Panthers beat the Falcons, move to 3-2. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Colts lose an ugly game to the Browns. Not really impressed with the Colts at all. Their offense is extremely limited to what Philip Rivers can throw, and his arm strength is just really gone. He can't really push the ball down the field, so I'm really concerned about the Colts. They moved down a whole 7 spots. I had them in my top 10 with that defense, with that run game. I thought could be a little special. Lose to the Browns, drop that one. They dropped 7 spots to 16 from last week. 15 Cardinals, not really impressed with them. They do move up a spot to slide up as the Colts lose. Not really impressed with the Cardinals at all. It was a 17 game midway through the fourth quarter against the worst team in football, the Jets. Tepidly, I'm going to keep them at 15. 14, I've moved the Patriots down a couple spots due to other play of teams. They were at 10, they're at 14. They had a bye week due to the postponement of Patriots and the Broncos. So I'm not going to write them off. This is still a very fluid situation, but I'm just going to move them down for the time being. All right, 13 Bucks lose a really ugly game to the Bears. Wasn't impressed with either team. You can really see that both teams' offenses aren't that good. Tom Brady does look really limited. It's the same factor with Philip Rivers. Can't push the ball down the field. Really needs a good running game and a quick passing game, short throws to get their offense going. I moved them down 7 spots. They were number 6. I really was not impressed by the Bucks loss, and they could lose. They have a tough couple games coming up ahead with Packers and Raiders, so they have been moved to 13. 12 Saints. I'm going to throw Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Philip Rivers all in the same little rowboat. Can't push the ball down the field. Need the short dink and dunk passes to get their offense going, and need a solid running game to keep their offense afloat. Came back from a huge deficit against the Chargers. I think that was more about the Chargers blowing their lead again rather than the Saints taking the win. I do move them down 4 spots. They were at number 8. I'm just really not impressed with the Saints. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the Saints and Bucks try and meander their way through and try and win the NFC South. All right, Raiders I move them up 7 spots. This is my biggest riser. Move up 7 spots, take down the Chiefs. Really, really impressed with Derek Carr and their offense. The defense played really well after the midway point of the second quarter, holding the Chiefs to only 8 points for 2.5 quarters of the last 2.5 quarters of that game. Raiders on the fringe of the top 10. All right, so let's go through our top 10. We have 4 new members of the top 10 this week. One of them is the Chicago Bears. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 4-1. They just keep finding ways to win. Not impressed. Still think they're a fraud, but it's super hard for me to keep them out of the top 10 when they just keep winning. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put them on the 10 line for my power rankings. All right, Cleveland Browns, they move up 4 spots to number 9 from 13 last week. Beat the Colts. I was more impressed with how the Browns offense dealt with that really, really good Indianapolis Colts defense. Colts offense may be really bad, but you still have to go up against that Colts D, and they played really well in the first half. Browns defense carried them home in the second half. Browns moved to 4-1 and one of maybe now the new best division in football in the AFC North, considering Steelers are undefeated, Ravens are 4-1, and now the Browns are 4-1. All right, Bills fall 5 spots to number 8. Ugly loss on Tuesday Night Football to the Tennessee Titans. Really I'm really interested to see if Josh Allen's going to come back down to earth. He was completing about 73% of his passes. His career average is around the 60, low 60% range. He did not play well against the Titans. Bills' run game was non-existent, and it really looked like the Bills were the ones who weren't able to enter their facility for the past week and a half, not the Titans. Little concerning there. All right, Rams, champions of the NFC East, as I like to say. Their 4 wins have come against the entire NFC East division. That one loss came against the Bills. They beat Washington. They moved to 4-1. They moved 5 spots to number 7. Really was impressed going West Coast to East Coast, beating up on the Washington football team. I still view them as a better team than the Bills, but I am a little concerned that they might be frauds considering who their wins have come against. So, as I like to say, this is going to be a tepid number 7 for me. Steelers are in the same boat for me. Yes, they rise all the way to number 6. They stay unbeaten, but the teams that they have beaten are all pretty bad. Philly, Houston. They played the Giants on opening week. I forget who they played week 3. None of them have been overly impressive. I'm still waiting for them to explode. I'm really, really fascinated to watch Steelers-Browns this weekend. I think that'll be a really good game, and it'll give us a little bit of a litmus test on how both of these teams are, just on how good they are. Okay, top 5. I'm going to say it's controversial, and it probably will, and it is controversial. Number 5, I have the Tennessee Titans moving up 2 spots. I was very bullish on them before their postponement bye week. I think it got a little. I think that trust got rewarded with their demolishing of the Buffalo Bills on Tuesday Night Football. They move up 2 spots. They are one of the 4 teams. Man, 4 teams that are undefeated. Man, I can't count. They moved to 4-0, beat the Buffalo Bills handedly. I'm going to put them at number 5. Number 4, I do view the Baltimore Ravens as a better team. They beat up on the Cincinnati Bengals. That one loss looks really, really good against the Kansas City Chiefs. I understand the Titans beat them last year in the playoffs. I still trust the Ravens a little bit more right now, considering their defense is miles ahead of the Tennessee Titans defense. Oh, it did play well Tuesday. All right, 3. I'm going to move the Green Bay Packers down a spot. I know it was a bye week, and it's dumb to, reward teams or punish teams for being on a bye week, but I do view the Seattle Seahawks at number 2 as just a little bit better of a team simply because Russell Wilson, not because of anything else. Packers have a better O-line. Packers have a better D-line. Packers have a better defense. Packers have, it's tough to say better weapons. But Russell Wilson is the only thing that's holding the Seattle Seahawks this high. He's the only reason they keep winning. He is a one-man show. I know DK Metcalf's playing extremely well, but without Russell Wilson playing at the MVP level that he's playing at, and historic pace or historically good play he's having, I don't view the Seattle Seahawks as a better team than the Packers, but Russell Wilson. All right, number 1, it's going to be controversial. I'm keeping the Kansas City Chiefs here, even though they lost. I do view the Chiefs as a better team than Seattle and Green Bay. I think they just had the Raiders played a really good game, and Chiefs fell into that. Chiefs didn't have any answers in the second half. I still like the Chiefs' run game better than the Seahawks. I still like Patrick Mahomes a little bit better than Russell Wilson, although that's getting a little close there. I view the Chiefs' defense better than the Seahawks because the Seahawks' defense's motto is basically just play as hard as we can, but if we can't, our offense will come bail us out. So, quick recap from 20 to 11. I have Cowboys, 49ers, Dolphins, Panthers, Colts, Cardinals at 15, Patriots 14, Bucks, Saints, and Raiders close out 13 to 11. Entering the top 10, we have Bears, Browns, Bills, Rams at 10, 9, 8, 7. 6 is Steelers, and then the top 5 is Titans at 5, Ravens 4, Packers 3, Seahawks and Chiefs at 2 and 1. So those are my power rankings. Please leave comments if you disagree. I'm sure I'll get some. I'm sure somebody has got to disagree with my assessment of the Chiefs remaining at number 1, even though they lost. Not a whole lot of great games coming up this week. We have Cleveland and the Steelers. Packers Bucks is going to be a really, really good game in my opinion. We got 2 good Monday night games in my estimation. We have Cardinals, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills. I still view the Bills as the only team in the AFC to really have a huge challenge for the Kansas City Chiefs. But Again, please leave your comments. Please like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. And this is the Why Would You Think That podcast.